Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. It is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. It is January the 4th. And hold on. And this is our first stream of the new year. Hi, everyone. How are you? I'm excited to be here. I'm a little discombobulated because I was up late last night. And I took a long bike ride yesterday because I'm trying to finish. So here's what's what. I need to finish this 800 and something mile uh, bike trek that I've been doing for the last few months, little at a time, little at a time. And I think I started in the summer. It's around Iceland, virtually. And I really want to finish it before the snows come and I can't ride for a while. And I have 66 miles left to go, which you might think, not a big deal. You can do that, no problem. 3 days. The only thing is that it's supposed to snow on Sunday. And today's Thursday, no ride today, but I can ride tomorrow. And I could get in. I just don't think. I don't think I can get in 66 miles. I mean, I could try to push myself really hard and get 66 miles in one day and do a metric century, but I am a little out of shape because I've not been able to ride consistently 3 days a week. And I did 25 miles yesterday, and that was a little bit rough. It was a new route. It wasn't a new route. It was an old route I haven't done in a long time, and I forgot that, like, the first half of it was a long, slow incline. It's just like... Anyway, so I don't know. Hey, Wizard Styles, I just don't know what I can do. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'll be up for... I don't know if I'll be up for it. I mean, I don't know if I'll be up for, like, 66 miles in one go. I could try to do 32 miles on Friday and then 33 miles on Friday, 33 miles on Saturday, but that's 2 long rides in a row. And I don't normally ride 2 days in a row. I usually give myself a day off. But the thing is, it's going to snow on Sunday. There's like an 85% chance of snow. So I don't know what to do now. Here's a thought. I'm going to do this right now as we are here together. I'm going to find out what time they think it's going to snow on Sunday. Friday, Saturday. Give me Sunday. Give me a second. I'm going to check. Sunday. Snow. Yeah, I know that. But can you give me more details? Sunday. So there's supposed to be a potential... Oh, now it's like a 97% chance of snow. There's going to be a storm. Oh, it might snow on Friday night. We don't know. What I need is maybe what I need is an hourly forecast. And I just don't think they're going to give it to me. And it's too early to get the hourly forecast for Sunday now. So I don't know. Look, if the snow were to come later in the day, like I could maybe wake up early in the morning on Sunday and then I could sort of hit... I could do it, right? I could do it if I had Sunday during the day. But I just don't know. I don't know. Hiya. Anyhow, how have you been? It's a new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Oops, got caught up watching the Tetris game beat stuff. What Tetris game beating stuff? Tell me more about this. Also, hi, Krellet. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I had all of my grading due yesterday morning, so I was really busy doing that. I have to go. I got through, like, I deleted 2,500 emails, which is really good. I'm not yet caught up on all my correspondence, and now I have students who are complaining about their grades, so I have to do all of that, but I will do that tomorrow. Or today. A 13-year-old managed to play Tetris so well he crashed the original NES version of the code. Whoa! Yeah, cake bite. I get about between 100 and 200 emails a day. During the breaks, not so much. It's usually less than that. But during the school year, I get between 100 and 200 emails every day. And if I do not check my emails every day, and like I usually do not check my emails on my long day, which is the day that like I teach seminar and then teach lecture and then like usually like I think this last semester it was Thursdays where I'm like basically doing something all day nonstop from like 9 in the morning to like midnight. So I usually don't check my email at all on that day. So all of a sudden, then I'm like behind. I've got 500 new emails that I have to get through on that one day, and it always takes a really long time to get through emails. So I currently have way too many emails in my inbox, and I need to get through them and delete a whole bunch of them and respond to people. But I'm not doing that right now. Right now, I'm going to play Disco Elysium with you all because that is more fun for me. Uh, oh, Cake Bite, it is Faculty Life. Guess what? You know how I'm playing Alone Against the Dark tomorrow's my going solo uh, game, and the character I was playing died, my little professor. Now I'll be playing my financier, and I have got a monocle that I need to wear, and I need to pull out one of my cravats. But I ordered some things for the other two characters, the reporter and the sailor, and everything has come in the mail today except for one of the things I need for the reporter, which should get here before I get to that character. I think we should be fine. So that's very exciting. Hey, Barantor. Now here's the thing that I was thinking about, and we can ponder it, and that is this. Uh, Next Friday, not tomorrow, but the Friday after that, we're going to come back to Sandman. I've got the Sandman crew back to go and play Sandman, and we've got 4 sessions of Sandman planned, I think, which means I don't know if I can finish the Call of Cthulhu scenario um, tomorrow. I do have one more session, one more blank session. No, I do not, because I'm giving a talk, which means I do. Hey, remind me. I need to write this down. Hold on. Hey, PB Plays Inside. PB. So don't let me forget this. When I get off of stream today, I need to book tickets to Texas for this paper that I'm giving. And need to write this down. I feel like I shouldn't write it down on this lovely notebook. I should write it down somewhere else. I'll write it down on the title page for Rachmaninoff's Isle of the Dead, which I was using for the composition I was making for Lindy. So let me see. Book, plane, and hotel tickets for Texas talk in February and email. Now, please, when I say I'm going to get off the stream, please somebody remind me right before I sign out that I need to do that, because I really need to do that. That's a thing I really, really, really need to do. So don't let me forget, because I'm going to Texas and I'm giving a talk, and I need to get plane tickets for it. Okay. Hey, Barator and Rissa. The other exciting video game news is that City of Heroes is now officially running again. Oh, really? It was unofficially running again, but the Homecoming servers have an official license from NCSoft now. Oh, that's really cool. Nice. Tomorrow is going solo. So tomorrow's going solo, and we're going to continue on with our Call of Cthulhu excitement. I just don't know when we are going to finish our going solo excitement, because I don't know if we will. I can't imagine we're going to finish the story tomorrow. I mean, maybe we will. Seems unlikely. If we don't, we'll just have to finish it. I don't know. We'll figure it out, because I want to finish it sooner rather than later. But I don't. It's a thing of mine. I don't like to switch days, right? Since I'm doing this going solo on a Friday, I would like to finish it on a Friday. I don't like to go from like a Friday to a... So here's the thing about my streams, which you may or may not have noticed. I don't tend to cross the days. So for example, I run Disco Elysium on Thursdays and then Rain World on Saturdays, and I don't play Rain World on Thursdays or Disco Elysium on Saturdays. And if I wanted to like get through games faster, I could just play Disco Elysium on Friday and Saturday, but I don't do that because there are people who might be able to make it on Thursdays, but not on Saturdays, and I wouldn't want them to miss a thing if they're following it because they can't make both days. So I try to keep each day unique. You know what I mean? So like I will only do Disco Elysium on Thursdays. So if you can only make Thursdays, you won't miss any Disco Elysium, and vice versa. And since I started going solo on Friday, I don't want to grab a Saturday to finish it. You know what I mean? So we might just have to use that going solo and finish it up on I know that there's a day in our coming season of the Gamblers where we have a day off because I'm going to be missing 2 players. We can play more that day. Anyway, we'll find out when we finish it. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out, everyone, together. So book tickets to Texas Talk. Yes, don't let me forget that. I will also bug you to make sure you did it while we're watching. Oh, yes. Thank you, Krellin, because we're going to be watching Candela Obscura tonight, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's over on the Critical Role channel. If you want to hang out in our chat and chat about it while it's going on, please do, because that's going to be lovely. Did I find my monocle? Oh, no, but I know where it is. It's in a particular box where my monocle is, so I know where it is. I just have to go pick it up, but I know exactly where my monocle is. So I'm going to be good for my monocle. And I just had a thought. The next character up, I believe, is the reporter, and I'm missing my hat for the reporter, which won't get here until the 18th of January. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let me see. I just realized that there is a bit... Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I was just thinking about being attacked on the cruise ship tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We're going to take a ship to Athens, Greece, and we're going to try to avoid being murdered by people. That's going to be our goal. Because, yes, that's it. That's what we want. We want an uneventful trip. All right, so let me see. I'm giving a talk in Texas. I was invited to the University of North Texas. But a hard-boiled reporter is always on the move and doesn't have time to wear a hat. That's true, but I got ordered a really good hat. So let's see. Going to University of North Texas in February, which means I've got to write that paper, but I can worry about that a little bit later. I actually gave the talk before, but I didn't have it written down, and so I need to actually just write it down. But I do have, and the problem with having it not written down is that now I have to recreate it from scratch. But I know what I'm talking about. I know what it's going to be about. I probably have a PowerPoint somewhere that I'll have to just reconstruct backwards from. It'll be fine. But it's for my book, so that'll be good. The talk is going to be one of the chapters in my book. One of the things I'm trying to do is to say yes to colloquium keynote talks and then give book chapters for that talk so that it forces me to write on those book chapters. And of course, talks are usually shorter than the book chapter itself, but right. So this is for my book on transgender vocality and race across the century. Volpa says, what do you tell your students when they say, I can write it later? Well, the thing is, when I say later, I just mean not tonight. This is what I mean by that. And also, unlike my students, I have been working on this for a couple of years. So I've already been doing research on this. I already have a PowerPoint on it. I already have notes on it. I already have like a lot of stuff already done. A lot of it's already done. I just need to actually just write it up, but that's just not going to happen tonight. That is probably going to happen. Well, first I have to book the tickets. I don't know if it'll happen this weekend because I've got to work on the new class that's coming up. So I've got a bunch of stuff I've got to do, but it'll all happen. It'll all happen in the next week or two. Actually, probably over the course of the next week and two. So The book is about transgender vocality and race across the century. PB Plays Inside says, was not expecting to have such a visceral reaction to hearing UNT. I haven't thought of that college since applying and auditioning my senior year in high school. So UNT is somewhat controversial, depending on who you are and what your musical politics are. And I had a grad student who went to UNT for music theory and left because of the most recent scandal that happened there. Most recent scandal, there was a pretty big scandal. When I say pretty big scandal, I need you all to know that PB would probably say, oh, what a big scandal. The rest of you would be like, what? What? So like if I say pretty big scandal in the music theory community over there, you might be thinking, oh, did somebody stab somebody? Or did somebody like date the mascot? You know, like this is maybe what you're thinking as civilians. But no, it was a music theory scandal. So most of you would just not care about it, but it was a music theory scandal. It was a massively huge music theory scandal. Like, it was bad, in my opinion. I will tell you what it was, even though, again, for those of you who are not into music scholarship, you may not find this at all interesting, but so there's a guy named Philip Ewell, and he's a music theorist. He's a Black music theorist. And he wrote this article that I don't know if you watch YouTube video essays, but what's his face? Adam Neely. Hey, Hawkeye. Adam Neely actually did a whole video essay on this topic, basically using Philip Ewell's work. But I think he actually did cite and talk to Philip Ewell. Anyway, Philip Ewell was talking about a thing which many of us have known for a very long time, but nobody was really necessarily saying. He talked about the ways in which music theory itself is racist. Or let me rephrase that. The way that music theory is white supremacist. That's what he was talking about. Now, as a pop music scholar, I could have told you this a long time ago. And those of us who do sort of culture with our music and music theory would be able to tell you this a long time ago. But the thing about a lot of music theorists is that there was a study done about gender diversity in different disciplines, right? And everybody knows that the STEM fields have less gender diversity than the arts and humanities. But within the arts and humanities, there are two fields that have the least amount of gender diversity. And those two fields are philosophy and music theory. And music theory is a field that has long sort of framed itself as objective science and math, and therefore not connected to culture in any way, and also very prestigious, and also doesn't have a lot of women or people of color in it. And the basis for music theory that you tend to be taught, there's more than one music theory, is the first thing I will say. There are a lot of different music theories, but if you go to school, you are taught one style of music theory, and that style of music theory is mostly based on a German theorist named Schenker. That was his last name, Schenker. Timothy Jackson, Philip Ewell, and Adam Neely. Adam Neely is the YouTuber. What next you're going to say is that Wagner's on the pinnacle of music. Volpez, you see where I'm coming from, right? So there's a guy named Schenker, and Schenker was a music theorist in the 19th century, and he came up with these theories of how to understand and analyze music. And he was mostly interested in German music, German classical music and romantic music. And he has a whole way of thinking about how music works, what makes music good or not good, like how is music supposed to work, right? And he was really basing a lot of things off of Beethoven. And it has to do with voice leading and like 3-2-1, blah, 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 blah. Not the point. The point is that he has this whole idea of what makes music, how music works, which also then includes how music works properly, like what is proper ways to put music together and function. And Schenker is basically and some other people, but basically Schenker is the center, is the basis of music theory. And Schenker's music theory was built to describe German and German-influenced art music from 1750 to 1918, basically, right? If you are in the classic and romantic era, this music theory, and you're in the classic romantic era, and you're writing symphonic music in a German style or inspired by German people, then this theory will explain what is happening in your music. Because remember, Germans were the first musicologists and music theorists. They started the field. So they were always dominating the field, and they sort of really helped frame what was considered good or bad. Now, when Hitler comes to power, a bunch of German musicologists, many of whom were Jewish, but not necessarily, fled Germany and came to the United States. And so the United States, a lot of our music history and music theory is shaped by German. Well, that was always the case. Like, for the longest time, if you wanted to get a PhD in scholarship of music, you would have to go to Germany to do it. You go to Leipzig or wherever it was. So it has been the case for a long time that most of the people who taught music in universities as a scholarly field either were German or had been trained in Germany. Then after World War II, well, in the 1930s onwards, more and more Germans sort of came here to escape Hitler. And that sort of reinforced these particular ideas about what was important or what was not important. Oh, yes, Krellin. Yes, Timothy Jackson. Yes, that's where we're going. That's where we're going. So, but it's even worse. So this is the basis. Now, the problem with this kind of music theory, if you are a person like me, i.e. someone who does popular music studies, or if you're a person who does early music before 1750, or late music after, let's say, 1920, none of that music theory is going to be very helpful for what you do at all. But the entire, if you take music theory classes, that's what they're going to teach you. They're not going to teach you anything else. I learned early music theory, not in a music theory class, but actually in a class taught by Susan McClary. And I learned 20th century stuff also in separate classes. So if you learn them at all. But Philip Ewell made an argument that basically the music theory that we understand is not actually objective, but it's actually white supremacist, more specifically German supremacist. And that it is built to valorize certain kinds of music over other kinds of music. So do you know those videos that show up every once in a while, like the four chord song one, where like, look, all these 100 pop songs all use the same four songs, therefore they're all bad. You know those ones? Like, oh, isn't that so terrible? Oh, what happened? It's so terrible. Like, this is actually the idea that all music uses four chords. And actually, if you want, you could just do 3 chords and have it be like, the blues is a 12-bar blues structure. All blues that are 12-bar blueses, all of them, thousands and thousands of them, all use the exact same structure, because that's what the structure of the song is. So you could certainly say, look at these thousands of blues songs since the 19-teens, and they all use the same 3 chords. You can just do all of them, the same one, right? And actually then once you realize that a lot of rock and roll songs are also still 12-bar blues, I could just say, like, here's 1,000 songs. They all use the same chord progression. Isn't that terrible? Music's so much worse now than it used to be. Why is music so bad? All of that attitude, right, that thing that people are saying, is based on the Schenkerian idea and the sort of classicist idea that for music to be good, it must have lots and lots of complicated harmonic chords. That's the basis of a lot of Western music theory, is harmonic complexity. Through composed harmonic complexity. And through composed means you just don't repeat chords, like you kind of go through a whole journey, whatever. But this means that fundamentally all popular music is bad, unless you're prog rock, because they internalize classical music values, and we're trying to avoid, et cetera, et cetera. So even a lot of jazz uses the exact same chords. So if the only thing that matters is what kind of chords you're using and how many of them you have and how that they don't repeat, then no popular music, with the exception of maybe prog rock, is going to be good. And if you have a music theory that says all of an entire form of music is bad, then it's not a good theory. So basically all classical music, all popular music is bad under this theory. And please note, it's also not coincidental that most universities did not teach, and almost no music conservatory except Berkeley teaches popular music, right? Like, I'm lucky that I'm from like the second generation. So like there's a generation of scholars before me that was like, hey, popular music is legitimate to study, and fought so that I could get a job teaching popular music studies. But for the longest time, most departments wouldn't ever even teach popular music. And if they did, it would be an elective and not part of the major. And that's still the case in many places. So you have a music theory that completely invalidates entire swaths of music. Like that ad showing how many pop songs you can remember playing the same four chords? Absolutely, yes. Flashback to analyzing 2 pages of Mozart music, all played on the 5 chord. Oh yeah, but he's trying to build up. See, he's building up tension, PB. Not to mention the way the department disguises disregards pop music courses. Absolutely. And then, of course, we can even go further to note that not all countries' traditions value harmonic complexity. For example, African music, West African music, tends not to focus as much on harmony, but much more on rhythm. That tends to be like rhythmic complexity and polyrhythm and cross rhythm tends to be what's more important there. But all of West African music can be considered not good because it doesn't do what German music from 1750 to 1920 does. Also, that music theoretical system is based only on basically the Western musical scales. If you are doing Jewish music, Indian music, Arabic music, Asian music, there are a bunch of musical traditions outside of Western Europe, including also in Russia, that just don't use those musical systems. And so you don't learn anything about those systems, and those systems end up being seen as not good because they don't conform to this one very narrow idea of what music theory is, which is the basis for all of our teaching. So Philip Ewell wrote an article about this being like, hey, let's talk about this. And what happened was that it caused some people to be very mad at him. People got really mad at him for saying that there would be sort of like basically Germanocentrism, white supremacy embedded in our music theory. They got really mad. And many people were like, how dare you? How are you? Ha, They got very mad. And so UNT has a music journal that is a graduate student music journal. But the graduate student music journal is mostly just run by this guy, Timothy Jackson. He's this faculty member who just basically does everything. He doesn't even really consult the graduate students. And he put out a special issue about this article. It was all about the article. He didn't talk to Philip Ewell. He didn't consult Philip Ewell. And this journal had an anonymous article in it, which is not done in academia. Anonymous, all it did was just talk smack about Philip Ewell. It was just like a big hit piece, which was non-scholarly and unprofessional and inappropriate. That was very scandalous and pretty racist. And people were like, what is going on? This is terrible. The grad students were like, not in our name. Hey, we didn't have anything to do with this. Do not blame us, the grad students, even though this is technically the grad student journal. This had nothing to do with us. And so then Timothy Jackson ended up suing the graduate students. Like, it was outrageous. Like, and Timothy Jackson just said all sorts of terrible things, questionable stuff. And then he sued the graduate students. And like, it was just like real bad. Like, it was really, really bad. And then one of my grad students was there and she left. She was like, I'm out of here. Yeah, real bad. And PB says, of course, and it's all covered in one semester, 1 credit world music class. So disrespectful, right? So disrespectful. Yet, 1 semester, 1 credit for the entirety of the world of all time, whereas you'll get an entire semester just on Beethoven. You know what I mean? Or just Beethoven symphonies even. So what had happened was the graduate students at UNT, of course, they are not happy with the reputation of UNT and with some of those faculty members, and they're putting on a graduate student conference. And they reached out to me and they were like, hey, we would really like it if you could come and speak at our graduate student conference. And we know what you've heard about UNT. We know what our reputation is, but like we graduate students are not like that. We would like to have different kinds of conversations. Like we would like to have a different kind of culture. We would like to have different kinds of speakers, different kind of information. So we were really asking if you'd come and speak at our conference. And I said, of course. I said yes. Of course I would go and I will tell you what. If there's one thing that you can do to get me to say yes to many things, it's to sort of say that it's for the students. if it's for the students, I'm probably going to just say yes, because yeah, how could I say no? Do you know what I mean? How could I say no to those students? Um, yeah, I've never met them, but I care about them because you can't change a culture without trying, right? But also to be very, very earnest about it in a way that will probably make some people cringe, but I don't care. I'm immune to cringiness. What I want to say is, I believe the students are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the music theory that they might possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the students' music history show them all the things that could be. I remember long ago. That's not the line. My mother, someone told me long ago never to walk in, like, Wagner's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I know what I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away non-common practice period music theory. Anyway, so what I'm going to say is I'm going to go over there and I'm going to give them a talk because I care. And the talk is for my book, which is about transgender vocality across the century, transgender vocality and race across the century. And it's structured around two pairs of chapters. Each pair is like 20 years apart. So I have planned 2 chapters for the 50s, 2 for the 70s, 2 for the 90s, and 2 for the teens, the 20 teens. That's 8 chapters plus 2 introductions and 1 conclusion. That's like 10 and a half. If I have extra time and I can swing it, I really want to do a pair of chapters on the 1930s, which will make it a pretty long book already, but whatever. Not the point. Not the point. Trooper, you are not even as good as making up lyrics on the spot as I am. Let alone I know I'm not. I know I'm not.
In the money.
I'm doing my best, but I'm not expert at that one. PB says, I learned very quickly in my college applying days that there are 2 types of people who recommend colleges to you. Those who knew what sundown towns were and those who weren't afraid of them. UNT was one school I was willing to look past because practically everyone who taught music in my high school has UNT as our alma mater. Ooh, but boy, do I feel like I dodged a bullet not getting accepted. I think you did dodge a bullet is what I want to say there. I'm going to sing it, Volpez. We just got these bits as a present, and so therefore I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin. Irway and hey, the anime. Irway and hey, the anime. Iwe at gale at way at ways to it gale on way. Irway and hey, the anime. E the ice skates are on say. Old man did the ocean pray, we are you three west down way on rail. Ewe evni eat red lands lay, ev way at brands lay, tay day. And we see the end, Lord will look at the eye, are in the IA. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you for those bits. Oh, poor captions. Sad times for them. This is all a true statement. They don't know what they're doing. I feel bad for them, but not so bad. Just only a little bad, Let me see what we have here. Get up on the lyrics. Much easier to think and type it out than singing as you create them on the fly. I suppose that's true. What kind of book am I writing? Yes, that's where I was at. I was going to tell you what kind of book I was writing. So, by the way, since I'm going to tell you about my book, we should probably just go and play while we're here. Because if we play, then I can tell you about my book. Because that's what That's what playing is all about. It's about talking. Hey, Boo Day, how are you? So, by the way, before I tell you more about the book, we are here to investigate this church. This is it. It doesn't look like there's anyone to talk to, so we're just gonna investigate this church while I tell you about the book. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad to hear your book. I'm glad to hear that you are good. So, the book, right, is about transgender vocality and race. And more specifically, I'll be looking at this grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. Okay. I suppose this is the grotesque wooden figure. Okay, so, I really would like to add 2 chapters for the 1930s, and I know what I would write about. It just depends on how much time I have. More of the forked lightning pattern I saw outside. Bark beetles? No, it looks intentional. Some long forgotten style. I don't see the lightning, but... So, it's thinking about black and white and how race impacts gender and transgender sort of stories, right? Thinking about it in that way. So, the 1950s is about 2 different trans men. The bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly into it. That seems unsafe. Could these wires work as contact microphones? Perhaps, yes. I wonder if maybe our pal friend is scaring them away from the church for reasons. It's hard to say. So that chapter, the blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Something to do with radio frequencies? Somebody's clearly using this place to do art. I think it's the, well, I don't know who it is. Actually, I don't know who it is. That's a good question. Okay, so look. Chapter 2, it's 2 chapters on 2 different trans men from the 1950s. Billy Tipton, who was a white jazz musician, and Wilmer Broadnax, who is a black gospel singer. And I talk about their lives, how they use their voices, what it means, but also what does it mean to become a man in the 1950s, and how does that complicate the stories that we tell about gender. Hey, Artie. So, for example, some people who are transphobic will say, well, of course women want to become men because it's just so much easier to be a man. And I would say, because you get all the privilege. And I was like, maybe not if you're a black man in 1950. You know what I mean? And so, like, how does race complicate what manhood is, right? We have to be intersectional thinking. And what are the differences between those things? And what does it mean, right? All that stuff. And then, like, the 70s, I'm looking at 2 trans women. I'm looking at Sandy Stone, who was the sound engineer for Olivia Records, a women's music label. And then I'm going to look at Miss Major, who I really want to see if I can interview before. Because I got to interview Sandy Stone, but I would like to interview Miss Major because those women are from a generation where they may not be around as long anymore, you know, because the 70s was 60 years ago. So it's 50 years ago. So they're all like in their 70s now. And just thinking about sort of black trans women versus white trans women in the 1970s and the relationship to queerness and what is that like? The women's music scene for Sandy Stone, but also like the black drag queen cabaret scene for Miss Major. And then with the 90s, I'm going to be doing 2 different films, Boys Don't Cry and Crying Game, and how race and voice sort of interact there with transness. But for the teens, which is the 2010s, I'm going to be doing non-binary identities and the differences between a fetishization of non-binariness as like messy and incoherent, and how people will like. So I'm gonna do probably I'm doing Courtney Act, the drag queen, and then I'm also doing the pair chapter. I'm pretty much certain I'm going to do uh, uh, Queen Diva, uh, Big Frida, and then Courtney Act. And so the chapter that I am working on right now, which I'm going to give the talk for in UNT, is about Courtney Act, and it's about non-binary and femphobia, and the ways in which it is currently very cool to be super misogynistic against women if they're white, and conventionally feminine and liberal, as opposed to conservative, right? So I'm talking about Courtney Act and her activism, and how she sort of falls into a trope that is not easily vilified, while people feel righteous about vilifying them. And that there are all these articles about Courtney Act about how she's so terrible because she upholds the gender binary, but she's not binary. She's gender fluid, right? So, but she's not gender fluid in the right way. She's not gender fluid in a messy way. So I'm talking about like subversivism, which is a concept that comes from Julia Serrano, and how we have a particular kind of fetishization of subversivist. Like, if you wear a leather motorcycle jacket, then you're cool, and then you're subversive, even if you're not. But if you don't, then you're not cool. And I'm going to have to go bring up this one article by, maybe I don't. No, I will. Yeah, there's an article that talks about, So anyway, it's about subversivism, and it's about the glee with which people attack white women as if they are the patriarchy and everything that's wrong in the world, in ways that are just misogynistic, thinking that they can get away with it because it's like cool. And the ways in which that involves like misreading people. So I'm like talking about Courtney Act's voice, how Courtney Act uses her voice in a passing way, which also sort of adds to the ease with which one attacks Courtney. And I could actually probably also talk in about the ways in which, as a number of public trans women, that as they become more passable and feminine, the more attacks they get from within the queer community, like ContraPoints and et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, but it's about white femininity and non-binariness. And then the other chapter is about Big Frida, how everybody loved Big Frida until Big Frida became less interesting, right? So anyway, those are the things. But the chapter is not going to be about Big Frida, it's going to be about Courtney Act and so yes. Oh, Artie, yeah, I'm writing more than one book actually, which is I technically have like 3 books on my plate. I wouldn't even worry about it though. It's fine. That sounds like it's going to be a really good, insightful book. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I do talk about in my introduction about how, well, for the book itself, I'm going to be talking about black and white, or ideas of blackness and whiteness, if that makes any sense. Not always actual blackness and whiteness, but ideas of blackness and whiteness. In my introduction, I'm also going to talk about how other race, because we gender races and we racialize genders. And so blackness is masculinized under white supremacy, but Asianness is feminized under white supremacy. And Latinidad is like just made hyper. Like the way that like white supremacy treats Latinidad, with it genders Latinidad, is tricky, because Latin women are made to be hyper. It just hypersexualizes is what it does. It hypersexualizes Latinidad and sort of makes it makes Latin men more extremely macho and Latin women more extremely like feminine in ways that are also do not fall within white middle class gender norms. So like if blackness is masculinized and Asianness is feminized, then Latinidad is sort of like splintered and like made more extreme on both ends, and just generally hypersexualized. So Yeah, so I do talk about the ways in which race is gendered, generally speaking, but I also talk about how class is gendered, right? Working class is masculinized, upper class is feminized. I talk about how regions are gendered. So I talk a little bit about the ways in which we gender different identity sections. And so when you're going to do an analysis of something, and then also, side note, I also talk about how musical genres are gendered. Rock is gendered masculine, pop is gendered feminine, et cetera, right? How musical instruments are gendered. And it's how we gender all of these things so that when you're going to do a sort of a gender analysis of something, you kind of actually you have to be intersectional. You have to think about like, well, how does the genre play into our gender analysis? How do the musical instruments play into our gender analysis? How does class, region, age, race, right? Class. How do all those things play into our gender analysis? So the book is about all of that. Yeah, and I would say the other thing that's really important for this book, for me at least, is that I have seen a lot of people be very hostile to people of different generations. And they'd be like, oh, old people, blah, 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 young people, blah, blah, blah. And if there's one thing I really hope to do in the book, because I'm crossing at least 80 years, maybe 100, is I really want, which is really why I really want to do the 1930s, because each of these decades I'm doing so far deals with really important moments, right, in sort of trans history. The 50s is pre-Stonewall. The 70s is right when that Stonewall era. The 90s is the rise of the new trans activism, and then the teens is the rise of like new non-binary identities, etc. New identities like Mogai and all that. But the 30s is really important because that's when we had a really different idea of gender as well. So I really hope I can get those two chapters in. It'll just take longer for the book to be done, but I kind of don't care. Anyway, we'll find out. But we'll see where I'll do those two chapters last. We'll see where I'm at when I get there. But one of the things I really hope to do is encourage people to do what I'm calling. I'm sort of torn between what I want to call it. Probably contextual empathy. I think I'm probably going to go with historical empathy, but I don't like it. It's not. I mean, I think it just fits better as a term than contextual empathy. But I go back and forth between them. But the idea being that if you're going to be critical of something, which you can be, you should be critical of it within its historical and cultural context. Because if you cannot see something within its historical and cultural context, you may actually be making critiques that are not relevant, and you may miss really important critiques that are relevant, right? So I'm trying to get people to think with more empathy towards people who are not from their space. Because what I've noticed is that there are these critiques like, oh, that thing over there was so terrible because it didn't use this term. And I was like, yeah, but the term didn't exist yet. That's not a good critique. It's not good to critique this thing and say these people are bad because they're using a term. They didn't use a term that didn't exist yet, which is not to say you can't critique things in the past, but you have to figure out what the stakes are and what the conversation is so you can figure out, like, for example, there are people who will say, oh, well, Lovecraft wasn't like really racist because like everybody was racist back then. And that's just not a true statement. Other people at the time are like, whoa, H.P. Lovecraft, why are you being so racist? Like, if you go back into the context, you can see people are like, wow, that's a lot. But then also there are things where people will say, oh yeah, back in the 20s, people said they were the third sex, and that's so offensive because we're not the third sex. And I was like, well, right, but that actually was the progressive term at the time, right? You like, so like you have to sort of like, but at the same time, if you go back, you might be like, oh wow, this thing that we think is really progressive, actually it wasn't progressive at all. That was actually kind of messed up, right? So like it's about trying to get people to be a bit more culturally and historically grounded in their critiques and try to get outside of themselves to sort of, because I would really like to build more empathy across generations. So that's like a what's the word? An agenda, a secret agenda of mine. Although it's not that secret because I'll just tell people. But like that's also really important to me, is to try to get people to be more, to dig in a little bit more to what the thing is about. There's only one generation I'm mad at, the one that invented credit cards. People sadly always seem to be able to find a group that they can attack without consequence or even with praise. Yes, I know. Context is so important. It's human nature. Everyone looks for someone to believe. You know, you say that, Haka, but I don't think that's true. I mean, I personally don't think that's true, because not everybody bullies someone, and not all groups bully people. Some people are bullied but don't bully others. And if it were human nature, then everyone would be bullying people, but not everybody does. And I just tend to be a lot more up with people. You know what I mean? I don't think it's human nature to be unkind or bully or mean or cruel. I don't think it is. And I don't know why when some people are bullied, they become bullies. When some people are bullied, they don't. But we don't all bully each other. Robert Howard, his racist friend, Robert Miller, saying how racist he was. It's true, Boudet. Yeah. Lovecraft himself later regretted his grotesque levels of racism. Yeah. Schmelzer says, yeah, I love how Lovecraft apparently realized, wow, I've been a racist piece of shit. I got to put that right. Then dies just 2 weeks later or something. Yeah. So, yeah, right. So it's about, in many ways, trying to figure out, I really want to increase empathy through this book. A portable Harman Wowshy tape recorder. Interesting. Is it possible it's recording something? Like, definitely it is. Somebody's doing some kind of seriously interesting art here. You know? What? I don't know.
The machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Love the sounds.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
He steps closer, but he seems cautious around the machine. I need my fake cigarette for...
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yes, but this machine looks like the one in the doomed commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
He inspects the machine's framework, careful not to touch anything.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect, a model number RC7024, equipped with a Fell mainframe and a Ream-compatible interim printer.
Wait, let me just investigate it.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
I'm going to look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
Let's press play. This might be a bad idea.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver.
I probably should have investigated everything before I did this, but oh well.
The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
You know, I just want to say, generally speaking, that I actually just like humanity, and I think the best of humanity. Some people are not great, but I don't feel badly about humanity as a whole.
Good afternoon. First case accident on Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
This is a human interface. A retired person sitting behind a switchboard somewhere.
Uh-oh. I'm going to say fortress accident like the one in the doomed commercial area?
I have two machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brun, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Hey, we're learning something. Our mud. Oh, this is very exciting.
Saint-Brun. That's the church. And Rue de Saint-Guylaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
Yes.
Anything else I can help you with?
What's the personal log?
The filament you have inserted into the core.
You mean that glowing thing with the tape on it that said log February to March?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is this the personal log?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
Okay. A password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
Okay, well, I want to go. I don't know the password right now.
I will register this login attempt.
I should have...
Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks. I'm finished with the call. I'll come back later.
Goodbye, votre accident.
She says as her voice disappears into a whirl of
The
static.
machine's keyboard is still illuminated,
let's-
revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Let's press print.
Nothing happens.
Okay, let's leave. We're gonna have to come back to this. Obviously. Because there's mysteriousness here. Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna. Look, there is something very mysterious happening here, and we're gonna have to figure it out. Also, I need to catch up on chat. 2 decks of reel-to-reel tape spinning on empty. I really feel like, there's a lot going on here. You know? It's, oh! I didn't mean to pull up that. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I just meant to... What is this? A pair of shoes? Mesk bangers... Oh, hey, those are shoes. We might need them. A spider has spun its web around this wood-carved pillar. So, I gotta catch up on chat, but I'm intrigued. A cracked pane of glass, colorful. Don't you want to know what this is all about? I do. Oh, I'll take that. A scarf. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring the view. A figure drawn in frost in the window depicting a deer. So, there's like a password around here, but I don't necessarily... Wait.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums.
What?
It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual.
Someone's doing something really interesting sonically and acoustically in this space.
You can hardly hear your own breathing.
I'll yell as loud as I can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers.
I need to tell you all something. It's about this, but not really.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
I have to tell you something. I'll turn to Kim. What's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Not really, but it's extraordinary. I've never experienced anything like this.
I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
Right, I want to talk about acoustics, everybody.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Mm.
Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises.
Oh, which would make this not a really good place for a rave, to be honest. But maybe they wanted to discourage singing and dancing?
Could be.
He doesn't seem entirely convinced, though.
I'm going to look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Well, let's just go for it. We don't know. We're going to find out. Did I succeed? Did I succeed?
Just darkness without end. It makes your head spin.
Okay, I failed. Okay, I failed. I'm going to try to make something out. Anything.
There's nothing. You're dizzy and disoriented as you see dark and more dark rising.
Officer, what are you looking at?
He follows my gaze, attempting to see whatever it is that I'm seeing. What's the darkness like?
Filled with vague shapes of woodwork, the sense of a great height.
By the way, this was an impressive visual moment. I'm going to blink. Oh, what happened?
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes.
Hey, everybody. Hi, excuse me, point of order. There is a person, I'm pointing, you can't see them. Oh, okay, there, if you follow the rafters, you see it, there's a person, you can see them with a little bit of blue, they're hanging out there. I just want you to see it. I'm going to catch up on chat while we all look at that. Yep. Boudet says, I was a huge HPL nerd and then learned more about HPL as a person as a result, so I push him under every conveniently passing bus in conversation. Boudet. It's good. Praise the bottle, pass the ammunition. Did he regret the racism or just how apparent the racism was? I think he had some various troubles, right? There's a lot of speculation and debate around his deathbed reversal. Yeah. PB says, Disco Elysium feels like a modern text adventure game. It really does, doesn't it? It's really a fascinating game. Artie says, it sounds like an attempt by people who enjoy his work to try and temper his views, but then again, I have very little faith in humanity in general. Is there a password carved into the pillar? Well, that's a good question. I should look. Flour, dough. Spinning the strangest stuff this side
Somebody's
of
watching me.
Martinez. I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Ba-da-ba-pow. Thank you for that follow, Lost Poncho. Thanks. Welcome in. Hang out with us. We are running around. I'm catching up on chat because there's something creepy going on. And if you catch up on chat, you don't have to deal with the creepy thing. How are you? I was like, oh yeah, we see them. Oh, that shiny person in the rafters. Nope, don't see them. Nope, don't see them at all. Are they the figure there? Nope. I could go deeper into Eviscerate HPL, but I think it's too far to attach in dark places. What has it got in its pockets? You know what's interesting, Boudet? One of my colleagues in the music department has this paper about H.P. Lovecraft that he wants to write, and he keeps not writing it. And I'm like, no, you have to write it. It's about, because we're music nerds, right? And he's a 21st century music nerd. And he was doing a lot of reading on the old short stories, and he was noticing every time that music is mentioned in H.P. Lovecraft stories and how he describes music and what that might mean about what kind of music was being made in the 1920s. And I was like, that's a great paper. You should write it. And he just hasn't done it yet. And I'm like, come on, write it. Because I want him to write it because I think it'd be really good. But I think he's nervous about H.P. Lovecraft fans attacking him. But I was just like, just write it, you know? Anyhow. Continue.
Maybe it's possible to talk to it.
I don't know what's going on here. Trooper Acoustics, you wanted to say something? Yes, acoustics, thank you. So speaking of which, I was just reminded of something that I need to put up a tab for. Oops. Okay. Up. Got it. So, speaking of acoustics, I made an adventure once that I then remade to another thing I can never talk about ever for the rest of my life. Sadly, NDAs. But I made an adventure about, I'm going to talk about the first one that I made. I made an adventure about earthquakes. And Rissa says, I recommend the podcast Voluminous. They go through HPL's correspondence trying to get a handle on who he was. You know, I wonder if we could ever know, because I wonder if he knew. Bude says, I feel like that's the least thing Lovecraftians would lose their gob over, right? He talks a lot about music and architecture, and a lot can be mined from that by an SME who isn't me. Yeah, but like, how cool is it? Like, I think that's really interesting. All right, so, I was fascinated by two things that I learned. Two acoustical things. They must be afraid of that grad paper article written by an unethical professor, right? So there were two things I thought were really interesting. The first was in the Isle of Man. On the Isle of Man. No, Malta. On Malta, there's a place called the Hypogeum, and it's an old, like, Neolithic structure, megalithic structure. It's like it's an underground holy place, burial place called the Hypogeum. And there is, I read, a room that if you speak in this room and like through like a hole or whatever, and you have a very particularly bassy voice, your voice will be thrown to another part of the complex, and it will sound as if it's very large and coming out of nowhere. And there's a similar acoustical thing happened in Great Zimbabwe, which is an old sort of an ancient ruins in Zimbabwe, where there's this big sort of like religious complex. There's also a hill, and if you stand on the hill and you speak from the hill, your voice will be projected into some place in this complex, seeming like it comes out of nowhere. Very impressive. And it reminds me of in San Francisco when I was growing up, we had a place called the Exploratorium, which was this place that had all these like weirdly interesting scientific stuff that kids could play with. And on two different ends of the Exploratorium, there were these chairs that had these like discs behind them. And if you sat in one of the chair and you spoke at a normal sound, the person on the other chair at the other end of the large hall could hear you just as clear as day, but anywhere else that couldn't be heard. So I've been very fascinated for a really long time about the ways in which ancient peoples were able to use acoustical phenomena to create supernatural effects. They weren't actually supernatural, they were acoustic, you know what I mean? But what seemingly seemed like supernatural effects. And I just find that fascinating. It was so interesting. And I used the idea of that whole adventure that I created was all about acoustic waves and earthquakes. It was very cool. Yeah. Bude says he ghostwrote a memoir for his wife when she was traveling through Europe and got to see a young German political candidate who was strangely popular. HP was very excited about him. Oh. To be fair, Rabbit fans don't need a reason or rationale to attack someone. That's also fair. Workday done. Woo! Congratulations on done workday, Hawkeye. Bude says there's an arch where if you speak facing the wall, a person facing the opposite side can clearly hear you. Right, Bude? Well, first off, where's that arch? That's so cool. So things like that are really fascinating. And I was always really interested in finding a way to use those ideas in adventure modules, because the options there are very interesting. Okay, so there's a person here, and we're gonna just get ourselves caught up on that.
Is that a man? Looks more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently.
Hello, person. And now we know that Trooper worked on an earthquake machine for world domination. Yeah, but I mean, you don't know where the machine
The
is.
crab man.
I'm gonna say nothing. I'm gonna be quiet for now. Just like,
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be alright. You come to the right place.
the right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Yes.
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality.
Hey, Grumbleskin, how are you doing? What's new and how's happening? I'm doing well. I am, it's a new year. I'm streaming with you all. We're talking about acoustics and H.P. Lovecraft and playing Disco Elysium. Life is great. Yes. Oh, you're working on a D&D campaign? Ooh, say more. Say more.
Hey, and what was that about, the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately.
It's true.
Lay off it already. Shish.
Yeah, I guess I have a bit of a problem, and it's been getting out of hand lately, but
Está crudo, way. I see deep inside you. Your body and your spirit are suffering greatly from overindulgence. And you don't even know it.
I'm actually here on behalf of some young people looking to establish a nightclub.
I know it's hard to admit that you have a problem. I was like you once. Couldn't take an honest look at the damage El Reno was doing to my mind and my spirit.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Wow, everybody now just ganging up on me. 2E, no way! 2E, that's so cool, Grumbleskin. You're getting ready to sneak off to run some Pathfinder? Yeah, I actually want to, Grand Central Station, the Whispering Arch. Booty, I've got to go there and check it out. I want to run something in 1E, actually, but that's a whole other thing altogether. You know, actually, for some reason, I feel like you have a point there. Alcohol, certain potential identity, no. Stupid, don't know what this is. A little bit, okay, yeah, we're going to go with, look, for some reason, I feel like you have a point there.
Don't trust me. Trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
Okay. His voice echoes in the cold air of the church. Grumble says, no, AD&D tweet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got you. I was saying that I was thinking about doing a 1E campaign, AD&D 1E. But, like, no time for that one. Probably not a full, long campaign, but, yeah, but 2E, that's cool. That is the one edition of D&D I've never played. I have played every single other edition of D&D except for 2E. It's the only one I haven't played. That's the one. That's the one I haven't done. I've done... Technically, I've not done OD&D either. I've done basic, advanced 1E, 3, 3.5, 4, 5. The one that I haven't done is basically I haven't done second edition, and I did not do original edition. But I have original edition, so I could run that one. I just haven't done OD&D and 2E. Those are the only two. I really want to run something in a non-D20 system, but this is a favor for my forever GM. That's fair. 1E and 2E are so close. You know, Grumbleskin, I will just say that my perception at the time was that they were very, very different, and so I was not really interested in changing over to second edition at the time. also, I wasn't really interested in D&D anymore. I'd moved on to different games, but I remember when second edition came out, I was like, what is this? This is very different. It felt like a huge, massive change from first edition. Stripper, you need to shop out some of your ideas to people that have more time. Oh, that's true. Yeah. So, yeah, just from, like, I was just saying, Grubble Skin, that from my perspective as a person playing 1E in the 1980s, when second edition came out, I was like, what is this? It felt so different. It felt so, and it really felt like a reaction to the Satanic Panic. Like, they got rid of the assassin. All these things that where I was used to in first edition were just gone. And I was, yeah, it just felt like a very, very different edition to me. Yeah. You could have made up half of those acronyms and I would have believed you. I might have. Yeah. So, but I mean, I think, yeah, because I got the player's handbook. I got the books for second edition, and I read through them, and I was like, oh yeah, no. It really felt, yeah, it felt too different in a way that was not interesting to me. Because I'm not a person, like, please note, I actually don't mind necessarily big changes in editions, and I think it's fine. I just was not really interested in the changes they made, and I was not interested in D&D anymore, you know? They ruined dual classing, and as a consequence, bards. And Where's the Monks? I mean, and they also, I think they got rid of assassins, at least in the beginning, right? Basically, I think they got rid of a lot of things that would have triggered all that Satanic Panic stuff. Which, you know.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently in the beams, waiting for me to take it all in.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game?
I don't think so.
Whatever it is, he's quite confident about it. Just look how gracefully he sways.
Do you know where the other spooker is?
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
Okay, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Viejo's old, right? So viejita is like a diminutive, so like this old one, but is feminine, is very studious. So I think he's talking about me, but that wouldn't make sense in terms of the verb, the A ending. So either he's talking about the woman, because I think that the person who was by the machines was described as a woman. So he might be talking about that. I think he is. I think somehow whoever that woman was, who's older and apparently very studious. I guess we never had a problem crossing the two. Yeah, I mean, look, I know a lot of people who loved second edition way more than first edition. I think they're like, second edition brought in a whole new group of players. A whole new generation of players came into D&D because of second edition, and they love it. So, and I have a friend of mine who, again, second edition is her favorite, and she still plays it. There are a lot of folks who like second edition. Please note, I have nothing negative to say about second edition. I'm not anti-second edition. I just didn't play it at the time. So it's the only one that in OD&D that I haven't played. But nope, no shade. We just use assassin anyway. I'll just use it anyway. Yeah, it just didn't stick to me at the time. But again, I'm going to have to play and or run second edition and OD&D so I can complete the arc. I don't like the fact, like I had for the longest time, I'd only done 1, 3, and 5, and also basic. And I hadn't done the even editions. And so not too long ago, like last year, Random Tuesday ran me and some friends through some 4th edition stuff, and I ended up really liking it. I thought it was pretty cool. And so I am excited to try out 2nd edition as well, just because I don't want to miss any. You know what I mean? 2nd edition also took away my fireball casting ranger mages in full plate. Every system has its use case, exactly. Each edition has its perks, has its I always feel like each edition is a window into a moment, right? And moments change, and so games change.
Viaita is grandma?
Yeah, like old woman. Oh, wait, so there is another person in the church, and it's Viejita?
No, I just call her Viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
And you don't know where she is?
That's what I said, Holmes.
How can you not know? How can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you've got nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does, who is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
He shrugs.
Or search through her radio computer.
Right. Hey, have you by any chance heard the Viejita say the password to her computer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
Honestly, I just want to break into a radio computer to see what's on it.
Don't sweat it, Vato. The password is afterlife death.
Thank you.
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it.
Well, that might not be what it means, you know what I mean? So you must be the crab man.
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Hey, it's your neighbors who came up with the name, not me.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
Maybe.
That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures.
Mm.
And is that a satchel of tools over there?
Hey, I feel like we can see some carvings in these beams right now. Hey, did you also carve all those sculptures?
Sure am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use those same hands in service of something greater than my own restlessness.
This is deep, everybody. Also, let me see. I want to play Castles and Crusades. Be right back. Maybe we'll find some. All right, we'll see when you get back. Bude says, I ran a game of fairly jank indie RPG. It was fairly broken, but we took it lightly and had a lot of fun for a year. Oh, what was the game? Afterlife, Doom. See, it could be Afterlife, Death, or it could be Afterlife, Death. The death of afterlives. I don't know. Or it could be after life death. Maybe life death is just like a concept. And after life death, then something else happens.
We're in the money.
Oh! Strained pun. What kind of game involves leaving an impression by sitting in wet concrete? Ass as in Creed. Ass as in Screed. Sorry, I'll get my coat. No, don't get your coat. Stay and share more of those. It was Cairn, but not the famous one that came out more recently. Hey, I love trying out things, and some things, you know, you're like, oh, that's weirdly... Well, if you know me, do you know I like trying out weird things? Because that's pretty awesome. No, I like trying out things. And look, I do feel like I need to play second edition D&D. I feel like that's just a thing I need to do. Yeah. I just want to run all the things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to run all of the games, and I don't have the time to run all of the games, but I'm going to run some of them. Yeah. Okay, but that said, Be Right just donated 500 bits. And for that tip, I'm going to sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I'm going to sing it in Pig Latin. You know. And so, Krillin says, someone in my Dark Heresy group is playing, I suspect, the famous recent version of Cairn on other nights of the week. Oh. Bude says, it was a cute, wholesome game about little animal people with very inconsistent lore and some very unbalanced rules, but it was a fun time. So I was listening to one of the Ludonarrative Dissidents podcasts on diceless mechanics, and I'm going to sing, by the way. And I listen to them, and they talk about things, and I think we have different players, you know? Like, they talk about one of the things that was always a problem with RPGs is that the minute it's not your turn, people just check their phone and stop paying attention. I was like, yeah, I don't play with people like that for the most part. Like, the people I play with and what I value about the people I play with isn't when it's not their turn, they're paying attention and supporting the rest of the group. And I understand that maybe many people do that. They just check out if they're not in the middle of the spotlight. But I tend to play with people who don't. So, like, that's not a problem that I have to fix in my game mechanically. So that's interesting. But anyway, point being, he was talking about, I bring this up because he was talking about, they were talking about not Dark Heresy, not Cairn, animal people, unbalanced. Yes, I know what it was. It was about lore. It was about lore. They were talking about, what was the game they were talking about? It was Tales from the Loop. Yes, they were talking about Tales from the Loop. This must have been, I was listening to the Tales from the Loop episode, and they were talking about Tales from the Loop, and one of the players, I think it was James Wallace, was like, I wanted the lore to be more fleshed out, more detailed, more concrete. They've got all these things they hint at, but they don't necessarily finish. And I think that was like a mistake and not good. And the third member who does roleplay, Ross Payton, who does roleplay public radio, said, actually, that's kind of a generational thing. The older generation loved all their meta plot, but I think there's the newer generation in a reaction against meta plot is just having books that don't concretize lore so much, that keep the lore a little open, a little bit vague, a little bit fuzzy, or at least leaves a lot of mystery so that the table itself can resolve that mystery as a reaction against meta plot. And I thought that was a very interesting comment. I thought that was an interesting comment. I thought that was interesting. So when you're talking about this idea of inconsistent lore, I was just thinking about this comment they were making about vague lore being a reaction against meta plot. And I just thought it was an interesting thought, you know, just in my mind. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Iwe at gele at we of way at we at way exuted gele young way. Airway and hey, the anime. Either ice skates are ani say. Hold me and the idiot and pray. We are a udre, us stay and we young ray. Iwe even eat ray at leon's lay, of way at Brian's lay, ute day. And we see the Anley order will look like the IG are in the IA. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Thank you for those bits. You know, I have a desire right now. I want to say that whole thing, but slowly. Irwe inhe the anime. Irwe inhe the anime. Ivwe atge ele atwe of way. See, because the thing is, it's harder to say it slower because now when I sing it, it becomes its own thing. Ivwe atge ele atwe of way utwe itwe. It's te ekte ute itge eleangweo. Ivwe atge, we've got ele a otle a lot, ele otle of way utwe of what it te ekste it takes ute itge eleangweo to get along. Iwe every idre edleansle. We never read Iwe every idre edleanshe. We never read headlines. Iwe every Iwe every idre edleansle of way ed brandsle of way ed brainsley of breadlines ute day today Anwe, iwe, ise, ide, anle, ordle. And when we see the landlord, iwe, ukle, atve, ige, itre, in the ide, ie. We look that guy right in the eye. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I just want to say that slowly. Just wanted to say it. Thought that was important. If you want to play CNC, I can link you up to a Discord channel where they play CNC every Friday night and they let anyone join in. Oh, Haka, that's cool. Nice. Bude says, it really rankles me when people aren't paying attention, more so if they're distracting me when I'm trying to listen to someone else's turn. Oh, yeah. And the thing is, Bude, that like they're just different styles of play. It's just that sometimes I hear people say things like, oh, it's such a problem when you're playing RPGs because everybody does X. And I was like, oh, yeah, we don't do X in my group. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like sometimes the problem is not that everyone does X. The problem is that you're with the wrong group. I really think about this a lot. Like, for example, if people are not paying attention and everybody's cool with everybody not paying attention, then that's not a problem. But it's not true that nobody ever pays attention if they're not in the spotlight. I just specifically pick people who are totally cool sitting back and listening, like I am. I'm happy to sit back and watch my friends do cool things. I don't need to be in the spotlight all the time, and I just tend to find other players who are similar, so we're good. Also things like, you know what's really terrible about RPG players? They always go to violence first. They never want to talk. And I was like, nope, that's not everyone. Like, you can find players who want to talk. You might have a problem where, like, some people are like, well, what's the problem is that RPG players never want to fight. They only want to talk. It's like, again, not all. And I think sometimes people try to solve problems with mechanics when those problems might be solved with just finding players who are more compatible with you. Just my hot take. This is the main reason why I only run long campaigns for people I've played with before anymore. So the thing is, I really am happy to run short shots with people I've not played with before as a way to find out if I'm compatible with them. I think it's important to bring more people into the hobby. And I want to, especially since I have a channel where I pay people, I want to try to bring in more people and different people and spread the love around. But I am probably not going to invite somebody for a long campaign if I've not played with them before. Short campaigns, yes. Long campaigns, unlikely. Because I need to know what you're like in a slightly longer campaign. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. People I don't know, it's going to be 4 to 6 sessions to see if the group works. Wizard styles, I'm exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. Because here's the thing. This is not about whether or not you're good or bad. It's about whether or not you're good or bad for me, or whether or not I am good or bad for you. There are some people I adore, but I was like, oh, I like to do one-shots with you, but not long campaigns, or vice versa, you know? My current issue in my Dragonbane game is that I'm talky person and the other players keep doing the talking and getting us into trouble. Yeah. That can, yeah. I was just thinking about this when it came to, I had a new thought. Hold on, let me read this. Oh, wow. You've got some nice curves going there. These that seem a tad derivative. You're promoting the objectification of women with your reactionary depiction of female bodies. Honestly, I don't get it. All these figures look half finished. We'll go with the first one.
It's all just for the mother, man. No need to overthink it.
Well, what were you before you became a crab man and a wood
I
carver?
was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
I've lost my memory too. And it haunts me.
No, man. You gotta let that shit go. Then the mother's light touch will fill you with rapture.
He looks at me as if he wants to pat me on the back.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
Interesting. My name's Harry. I'll expend mine out for a greeting.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration.
Interesting.
I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of
Oh,
these
see you,
days,
Bude.
I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
Okay. Once. What will happen once you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed.
Okay.
Finally, at one with the state of the world before reality began.
Doesn't sound great.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
I do. So, who's this mother of silence you keep talking about?
Oh, that's no simple question, Essa. She is one who can be painted or sculpted.
Go on.
She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
Are you sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
I was being insensitive. Sorry. Let's move on.
No worries, man. I know this shit takes time.
Right. So, how did you even find this place, this church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries.
Oh, this guy.
But then
Okay.
I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, way. It didn't belong to me.
Okay. I still don't understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm Seraph Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
I'll nod. Singing is good. We should all sing a bit more.
I don't mean literal singing, Holmes. This is
But
the
I-
mother
but-
of silence we're talking about. It's the singing of a burning heart.
Yeah, I know, but I want to sing karaoke in this
You may
game.
be thinking, but fire crackles. No, Holmes. That's the material that's burning. The flames themselves are without sound.
So are these yours? The scarf and
I
shoes?
think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them anymore.
That's kind of you. Thank
They
you.
look pretty dapper, actually.
So I had some other
The
questions.
sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
You've been here a long time. Do you know why the church was abandoned?
Police raid a while back.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
I don't know about all this. Don't know about all of this at all. So some ravers want to turn this place into a
The
nightclub.
ones in the tent outside,
Yeah?
right? I
Yeah.
see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
So what do you think about the nightclub that
Why
is?
not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go.
I do feel like that sort of sound, the acoustical sound hole might be a problem for the party,
Might even
though.
be nice to have some company.
He
Okay.
said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Okay, well. Okay then,
I
thanks.
think we're done here, Essay.
The figure crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation.
Yeah,
However, I'm still not sure how it's relevant to our investigation.
give it time. You gotta give it a little bit of time to, like,
Hey,
work itself
so
out.
we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Oh, wait. There are capo types?
Guess what's yours?
Cool cop?
No, you're the sorry cop. The
What?
cop who's sorriest. Let's
What?
make it official then, shall we?
Wait, I thought I was an art cop. I thought I was an art cop. Hold on. I thought I was an art cop. Can I just not, can I?
Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
Oh, okay, but what are the other capo types?
Oh, you know, Apocalypse, Superstellar, the Advanced Interesting Cop, Liquid Shadow Cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go?
Wait. Wouldn't the other capo types be jealous?
Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual capo type from sorry to anything.
Wait. What, can I... We're gonna look at this thing. We have a skill point that we can use to level up, which is cool. We're avoiding this for a moment because we need to know things, is what it is, right? Cool. We have some missions, which we can think about in a second. Okay, look. So we've got 4 sorry cops. Okay, so there are Superstar Cop, Apocalypse Cop, Sorry Cop, and Boring Cop. And I feel like, the other kind, like, Art Cop is probably like a dual class. Sorry Cop is a weird one to me because Harry has so many reasons to actually be sorry. I'm a little surprised you unlocked it this late. Yeah, me too? Well, you know what? I suppose we're gonna just opt in, I guess.
Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million.
Maybe. Rigorous
That
self-critique. What? So, we're gonna go back in here because it looks like there is a thought that we just got, which is rigorous self-critique. Temporary research bonus. Embarrassment to the party. Research time. You're one sorry piece of shit. Cop penitent. A flagellant cop monk. This is not the right line of work for you. You should be groveling at the feet of a feudal lord, providing lurid evidence against yourself at a Mazovian show trial, or ripping the flesh from your back with a cat of 9 tails. Whatever made you this way, you can be damn sure it was your own fault. Do it. Really criticize yourself. Who knows? You might uncover something of importance from your guilt-ridden past. Seems so negative, everyone. It just seems so negative. A donut cop. I want to be a donut cop. Let's see. Here we go. Home awaits. Oh, that's, wrong one. I'm looking for rigorous self-critique. Come here, rigorous self-critique. We got to find out if we want to think about this thought, because we can unlock another, thought. But the question is, do we want to, you know? Come here. Come here. Okay. So, no, oh, we can't know what the solution is. So rigorous self-critique will lower authority even more. Our authority is not great at the moment. Wasteland of reality. It's been brought to your attention that you're an alcoholic and that it's a sickness and it's killing you. You're crawling on your knees through life, your booze-filled belly dragging the ground, your brain now fuzzy, now in overdrive, your hair sticking together with today's cold sweat and yesterday's vomit. Perhaps they're right. Anything's better than this. Even bone dry reality itself. Maybe you can quit. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna unlock a thought, confirm it, and I'm gonna go for the wasteland of reality because maybe we can kick the alcoholism. That's what we're doing. We're not so great with physical instrument at the moment, but maybe we can guide our Harry through this very bad alcoholism that he has, and maybe we can get to a better space. This is a thought. We don't know, but maybe. Maybe. And it has a 20-hour research time. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Well, ta-da-ta-da. All right, we did get these shoes. These shoes give us empathy, which I feel like seems great. And this scarf gives us a pain threshold. And you know what? I know, but the tie gives us this Inland Empire. So our Inland Empire is currently 5. Our empathy's 4. Our pain threshold could be higher. You know what? That's it. We're gonna stay where we're at. That's what we're doing. But yeah. Yep. You started internalizing it late and it didn't finish time. Oh, really? Well, you're right, it's 20 hours. I hope that we can do something nice for Harry. Is it bad that we're a sorry cop? Is that bad? I don't know if, I don't know if that's bad that we're a sorry cop or not. I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know.
Yes?
Nothing. Look, ooh. No, cop shoes. See, that was my thought too, Krellin. That was also my thought, so I feel like,
keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent
something consequences.
The speaker comes to life.
I really like the
Static seeps
sounds they were giving us.
Good afternoon, Fortress Accident on Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Yeah, I have the password.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Thank you.
Fortress Accident, is there anything else I can do for you today?
Nope.
Goodbye, Fortress Accident.
Thank you. Thank you.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
I feel like such an old school adventure game winner right now.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church, the door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like
I love those roller.
has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in.
I feel like there'll be more of a conflict between this person.
The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Let me read this second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity.
Let me read the third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esca series, something advanced.
By the way, I've been missing The Long Dark a little bit. I've been thinking, I wonder when the next chapter is going to come out. Because it's been a while, right? I mean, it's been a while since we've played The Long Dark. I wonder when the next chapter's coming out, because I kind of want to find out what's going to happen. Just thought I'd put that out there in the universe. I know they've been putting out, like, stuff for the survival mode or whatever it is, and also kind of like a story-ish survival mode thing, but wait, what do you mean it's here? Wait. Roller, what do you mean? Hold on. Wait a minute. The Long Dark survival game. What do you mean it's here? Where? Survival mode, story mode. Let's see. Story mode, mental winter mute is what we're looking at. Episode 1. Episode 4 was released 2021. So apparently, Raphael von Lierop has stated in December 23 that episode 5 is planned to be released in 2024. No, we've played that one already. That one came out October 2021. The Poison Mind, we did that one already. That was episode 4, Fury Then Silence. We're waiting for episode 5. Apparently it's going to be released in 2024, so soon? I hope so, because I want to, you know. They updated episode 4. What does that mean, they updated it? What does that mean? What does that mean? Why would she need an antenna? I would. The thing is, they've been coming out with this kind of like weird hybrid storyteller survival mode thing that I saw them talking about, but it's mostly, it seems to be all in survival mode. It's not winter mood. It's this other thing where you're getting this other stuff coming out, but it does not seem to be, let's see, 2022, Tales from the Far Territory, that's like content expansion, but that expansion is for the regional stuff. December 5, yeah, so Tales from the Far Territory came out, but Tales from the Far Territory, which is an expansion, does not seem to be about story mode, but seems to be about the other one, it looks like. It's the first paid content expansion named Tales from the Far Territory. The expansion plans to add additional gameplay systems, regions, and tales, narrative-themed challenges that explore the regions added. Additionally, Hinterland plans on adding free content along with each update of the paid expansion. Yeah, from what I've gathered, when that was released on December 5, but from my understanding that Tales from the Far Territory is not Wintermute, it's still the survival mode. Unless somebody knows something I don't know, but that was the vibe that I got. Vulpus says, we have just updated the Long Dark to version 2.25, build 126227. This is the latest expansion pass update, Tales from the Far Territory, Part 4, Buried Echoes, along with a free update available to anyone who owns the Long Dark or Survival Edition, and various bug fixes of quality or life improvements. Yeah. So, but I don't think that's Wintermute. I think that's only for the survival mode, not the story mode. That is, because when they first announced it, I looked into it to see if it was something cool, but it looks like it's all survival mode stuff rather than story mode stuff. And it kind of adds narrative-esque stuff to the survival mode, but that it's not part of the story mode. And that is at least what it seems to be. Right, yeah, I think all of that's for survival mode. I don't think any of that's for story mode. So that is this thing that I got, that if you are playing the story, that you don't have anything new yet. This is also survival mode stuff. Why would you need an antenna?
Anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire running the ground, inspecting with his boot.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers,
Lexi.
but at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked.
Haven't we met Lexi before? Hold on. I'm going to write this down because I feel like this might be important and I don't want to forget it. Okay. If anyone can confirm that any of this stuff impacts Wintermute, let me know. Let's see. Disco Elysium. Writing down notes on video games reminds me of the old Infocom days. Fortress Crew. Simo. Sulislav. Lexi. And then that's the only names we got. But I feel like I've seen Lexi before. I feel like I've seen that name. I really do. It seems really familiar. Dot Matrix. Oh. Okay.
I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
Data loss?
Something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi. Who are all those people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
How, wait. So 6 February 51 was a month ago. No? Hold on. 4th of February 51 was over a month ago. So we are sometime in March of 51. Sometime. Exactly when? It's unclear. 4, 6, 7, that's an 8. This is 12. Okay.
Right. We are nearing the date of the murder.
Oh.
Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
Yes.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Right, it's doubling.
What's she
Okay.
talking about?
Yes, I think so.
28th of February, 51.
Okay.
Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real, and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence, with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The
Interesting.
pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
Yeah, but what could it
The
be?
lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
All right, let's read the 8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again.
I'm sorry about that.
Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good. I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a conflict between Mush Company and
That
disco.
man must be a cell.
Yeah, she must be describing a cell.
Girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
Yes, let me read that ninth
March
entry.
51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening.
Uh-oh.
A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Hello. Suna. Programmer. Hello. Hi. We're right here. Anyone?
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at me as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
Break on through to the other
I
side.
do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see. We're here on a side case representing certain music venue organizers.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back
It's
to life.
just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Okay, we can wait. We'll wait for her to reboot. That's fine. I mean, there's a lot going on here. While we're here, everyone, I'm probably gonna stream until like 9:15. Just so you know. While she's chatting, let's see where we're at. By the way, I'm holding this garbage bag. Oh, hey, look at this. What is this? Blue medicinal spirit. Oh, yeah, that weirdness. I feel like we could maybe... I think it's tools. How about if I carry my ledger of failure and hatred? Goodness gracious. Flashlight? Maybe? Sure. Maybe that seems too aggressive. Let's not flashlight it. That feels a little too aggressive. Let's just, where are, you know what? It's fine. I'm gonna see if we can chat with her again.
What
Sorry,
is it?
Cap, had to interrupt. Hey, are you the lead programmer of Viral Untethered by any
Yes.
chance?
Or, no, not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
I didn't break anything, did
No,
I?
You just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It does not look like a big loss to her. Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her eyes. I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
She says, ready to stand her ground. Well, okay. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2-millimeter hole in the world.
Pardon me?
Wait, what?
That's what I said.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said.
Hold on. Wait, what's going on here?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
She stares at the burnished antenna on a nearby table. Okay, a hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with me, eyes shining like pearls.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for my answer.
You measure it by the world around it.
Right. Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're now living in a world that has holes in it, measured by collecting data on its surroundings, on that which exists? Yes.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual. You said the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
Yeah, but, do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, but without much success.
A faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade.
I really feel like I need my flashlight.
Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's a place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
This is pretty weird, y'all.
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
That's really weird. This is where the Crabman
I know.
lives. You don't think the Crabman might be somehow responsible
No.
here?
I don't.
Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to know about the scary 2-millimeter hole in the world for now.
Thanks.
Her hands are a whirl on the keyboard. So, have you seen the Crabman?
No?
But you know he's around. He's seen you.
And?
Okay. Probably not a big deal
No.
then.
You're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker with the machine's printer. Why are there so many machines in this
I
place?
brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Okay, why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR-1 as my RAIM prefix processing unit.
RAM Prefect, that's your radio computer, right? And that antenna is its processing
Yes.
unit.
You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
She has stopped working now. Not, I mean, I know a little.
All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait. What's on air?
On the front. The unified front of radio waves. Licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
I don't know how I feel about all this. Okay, and the AR-1, it's a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far, I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians.
Okay, so the computing takes place over radio
Anyway,
waves.
You should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieux dedicated to that sort of thing.
She turns back to her terminal.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
So, what are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Right, yeah, but, working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
I mean, once I finish my questions, I'll be
Just
gone.
rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
Right, but what about those bowls of water
They
over
are
there?
connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next
Great.
question. She dwells back into the glowing terminal. How do you feel about anodic dance music?
I hate it.
I
Oh.
bet she hasn't even heard it.
Like, have you actually even listened to it? Like, actually listened?
Like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying, do they?
She pulls a face that looks absolutely scathing. Yeah, no ns for
Maybe I
you.
have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right. But how do you feel about a club for anodic dance
This
music?
is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've
Yes.
got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
She looks up, shaking her head. Well, what do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
Still convinced they want to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music. They said it's their dream.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Okay.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Okay. Well, I'll let you work in peace now. I don't know about you all. We have an autosave, which is suspicious. I don't know how I feel about any of this.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day.
The god of
Cradled
sadness?
in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Cold
No.
wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you, as if under a microscope.
I'll look up.
The woman looks down at you, standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse?
So there's a reason why I like my community. And one of the reasons just happened. Roller 300 was like, Doris Day? Yes, that is correct.
She
Doris Day.
acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You.
It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
I'll do the same.
Fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
Oh, well, this is, well, let's just go with the encyclopedia first. How did I know this was a mother of humanism?
It's a mystery sprinkled with self-pity and regret. For some reason, unknown to your mind, looking at her delicate eyes makes you feel like you're ready for drowning. All you know is, this is the young mother of humanity, and that you should go. Do something else. Escape her sad, worry-worn look.
I'm gonna do some visual calculus, though.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light on the edges of the crack that splits the female figure. Something was written there. Remains of broken letters line the emotion. What it said, you do not know.
I'm not doing good on my rolls. I need to work on that one some. Dolores Day. This is Dolores
The
Day.
old woman in the village was right. This must be the DeLorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
Oh, what else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them, the 7 sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials.
Oh,
We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
he looks at the machinery lying around.
Respect.
Oof.
Is the lieutenant a follower of DeLoreanism?
Maybe.
Pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why it was
I
abandoned?
have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces.
Oh,
The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
yeah. Well, who conducted this raid? I think it's proper that I'm a sorry
Um,
cop.
Your station was involved, I hear. Although
What?
I can't be sure.
Oh my
How
goodness.
come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
Well, you're not sure?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember being
I
here.
am pretty sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
Well, now I want to know. If I were here, I should find out what I was
Good
doing.
luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
I don't know about that. We need encyclopedia and visual calculus. Kim, are you a follower of DeLoreanism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are DeLorean in origin.
I'm gonna say, and stroke my
The
chin.
woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
I'll just say I didn't think you were spiritual.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The DeLorean
Huh.
system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Huh. Okay, well, let's go. I have to contemplate all of this for a bit. Get in the DeLorean, Marty! We need to up our skills. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a thing we need to do. There's stuff going on here, and I don't even know all of it, and I don't even know. So here we are in this mysterious place with mysterious things. I'm going to, so we're thinking about the wasteland of reality. That's a thing we're thinking about. This, I really do want to get this apricot chewing gum scented one. I want to find out about my past. We only have 2 more slots open. That one I really do want. And maybe rigorous self-critique. I think our last 2 memory slots are going to go to the rigorous self-critique and the apricot chewing gum scented one. That's what I think. But as for tasks, we're getting really close to another level up, which is pretty good. I do want to think about... We are here in the church. Woo! Great. Oh, it looks like there's a massive Ferris wheel. That's really interesting. I'm kind of excited about just exploring this little corner up there and see what we got. That seems interesting. So from the top, there's that punch clock payphone for interfacing. This is reaction speed, perception, savoir-faire, encyclopedia. Yeah, there are a bunch of things that we should probably be working on. That's a lot of stuff. Well, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't know if you know this, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that we could... A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. Save Ferris! My brother's cousin's sister's girlfriend, ex-boyfriend's second cousin, knew a girl who knew a guy who saw Ferris throw up at the mall the other day. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Let's pick up the handset.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Okay. I'm going to put in 10 cents and dial a random number. 657-686-75309. Am I going to get something? Jenny. Yeah, I want to find if Jenny's there. Jenny? Are you there?
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable.
I don't think I actually... one more time.
Calling.
Okay, here we go.
Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this?
Yes.
End of tone. Someone picks up.
Uh-oh.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. No, this is not Pierre.
News about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
The woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I'll say, no, I'm a police officer.
To hell with the police. To hell with you.
Oh.
The voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume.
Thank you, 30.
Until the call suddenly disconnects. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
I want to make more phone calls. Can we just do one more? One more. One more.
Calling.
Just one more.
Still calling.
Tommy Two-Tone, I know it's you. Stop calling this number. I told you Jenny moved to the big city years ago.
Seriously?
Yes.
Someone with a masculine voice.
I have to know. I have to.
Gerard speaking.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, you're electricity.
No, stop that. No. Sorry. Wrong number.
Don't worry about it, buddy. Happens to all of us. You have a nice day now.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect tone.
There are more numbers. Okay, no, I'm gonna stop. I want to phone more numbers, though. I just need you to know that I am really wanting to phone more numbers. I won't right now. Buzz, hum. The electricity flows through the wires with audible power. Gerard sounds like a nice guy, actually. Yeah, he seems all right.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Well, let's take a closer
It's
look.
streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
I think this is the jacket that the idiot Doom Spiral guy wanted me to find.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
The lieutenant looks at the stinking rag and sniffs. I think we should take it. Absolutely filthy jacket, we took it. Look, I feel like we've been so productive. We're gonna take all of those things. I feel like so productive, everybody. Oh. Hobo cop. Well, apparently we're a sorry cop. I don't know if that means, there's more than one definition, usage of the word sorry. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Oh, hey, glasses. Mega Bino's prescription lenses. We got some prescription lenses. What do we got? +2 encyclopedia. -1 perception. So my glasses that I'm currently wearing give me +1 visual calculus, but minus to my drama. I feel like this is good. Right? Let's maybe wear those. More perception. Huh? Okay. I'm really excited. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. I'm really excited about this Ferris wheel. Oh, let's take this. Postcard. All right, we'll check it out. Makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. So I grew up in California, and we had, not too far from Santa Cruz, Northern California, a big wine canister. It's open and empty. So, and Santa Cruz had a boardwalk, and we would hang out there.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
What is
Don't
it?
you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that.
Oh.
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear.
Hi, Scarlet Rose. This is my first playthrough, and I'm completely unspoiled. So I don't know anything that happens. We just got our capo type. We are a sorry cop. I think we could have been a boring cop, but I think we ended up not being a boring cop. So we're now officially a sorry cop and also an art cop. We're both a sorry cop and an art cop. My first playthrough, no spoilers. I didn't even really know anything about it other than everyone said it was really good. I had no idea. I thought it was set in the real world. So look, again, I didn't know anything about the game. All I know is that people were like, this game is amazing, you should play it. And I was like, okay, Disco Elysium, I don't know what that means. And like I saw an image and I was like, okay, so is this set in the 70s? Is this like a buddy cop thing? And it's so I've been so surprised because this is completely not at all anything
The signs of decaying meat.
like that.
It announces itself from 24 meters away. A warning, a memento mori.
Heads up, Lieutenant. Heads up, Lieutenant. Something's not right here.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Yeah, something's not right. Oops, hold on. Careful there, these floorboards look rotten and weak. It's a poke around and find out cop. That's right. Let's be careful. Yeah.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Let's examine the
2
tear.
empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find.
Tallulah.
A tragedy.
The lieutenant looks in the can, eyes watering from the smell.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Examine the cigarette
Whoever
package.
tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
That's bad. All the tar. Ooh, examine the kebab wrapper. Why want a kebab? I haven't had a kebab since I lived in
You see
Germany.
traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol.
Y'all, I haven't had a kebab since I was in Germany, and I really want one now. A kebab sounds really good, right, Volpez? Ooh. A good old doner kebab? Delicious, yo. Okay. Hello,
The
person.
man
Are you...
lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right
Okay.
next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
I think we found our gal's husband. Welcome to the weird, psychedelic, and psychodramatic film noir story. Right? This, first off, the art is amazing. The writing is very good. There's something quite awkward about some of the voice acting that I find really charming. I like it. I'm also really I'm enjoying the way that I play through the game in a way that says, hey, I want to try to help out Harry because he's not doing well. It's really interesting. The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life. That's bad.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is, he's been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
This is a game that rewards you with a well-written story, no matter if you succeed or fail. Yeah, and you know, I am very much conditioned by tabletop RPGs to not really believe in success or failure. Just the story goes a different place. So I'm very excited about this. Let's study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against
Oh.
the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole.
Oh, what a terrible way to
A
die.
bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark.
Yeah, let me examine his
His
face.
expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his mustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze.
Don't want to spoil anything, but have you dealt with the hanged man? So, this is day 3, and we have found the dead man. We've pulled him off. I've got him in the freezer in the building next door. We still haven't figured out everything, and I don't have his shoes. So I do need, like, I don't feel like we've finished that body. I feel like there's still some things to learn about it, you know?
Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
Oh, good. That gives you far more time to deal with the dead man investigation parts. Yeah, I still feel like there's more to like learn there. Let's study the man's
He's
clothes.
wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are
Oh, I know
traces
this
of
guy.
kebab sauce on his chest.
This is the guy's husband. This is that woman's
The
husband.
leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made.
Yeah.
Cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue. Oh no.
Yeah.
This sounds terribly familiar.
Yeah.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into two. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Ooh.
We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Yeah, let's study the surroundings. It's not good.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Let's examine the chewing gum wrapper first.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
We've got a lot of morale, so we're going to look in.
Blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is,
Yeah. I just love the narrator and his delivery of the different parts of his mind. Me too. Does he do all of the voices? Or does he just do the main one?
I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Lieutenant shudders from the cold.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop.
Let me examine the man's
A
head.
dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch.
The gum you like will come back in style.
This is what killed him.
You
Yeah.
don't see any other major wounds, do you?
No, just the one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
I'm going to examine the bottle.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its
Tallulah.
cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us.
He looks at two other bottles near the coin operator viewer, then at your yellow plastic
I'd
bag.
prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
I know.
True. It feels disrespectful.
If I step on the floorboards, I'm afraid I'll fall through and die. Cheeky bricky. Okay, so I'm going to do it, but I think I'll die.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile.
Yeah, let's just step
The
back.
entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Who is this man? I
It's
know.
not one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
He looks south the way you came.
That's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
A dead working-class man with a bottle in his hand? Don't deceive yourself. You know who this is.
We know who this is. Sorry. We know who this is. It's the working class woman's missing husband. Dead. On the boardwalk.
The woman you met at the book stand? Why do you think it's her husband?
I need something here. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. I need to make sure. Wrong one. Let me move this right here. Let me change my action bar to this one. Okay, good. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. The leather jacket. It matches her description perfect.
The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband.
Yeah. What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
What about the kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the parks.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Yeah.
It
Right.
does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with him?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about a field
A
autopsy?
field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me.
Yeah.
We should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
Scarlet Rose says, Lenval Brown does the voice work of all the Mind Palace characters and the narration. That's amazing. However, Mikey W. Goodman does the limbic system, because the limbic system sounded like a different voice. The ancient reptilian brain and the spinal cord, plus a few others. I don't want to tell you big spoilers. Ah, okay. Thank you, Scarlet Rose, because it felt to me like at least the limbic system was different. But okay, all right. Also, now I really want a kebab. Just for the record, I really want a kebab now. Before we go on any further, I'm going to just do a quick look. I do not know if there are any doner kebabs in my area, but I'm just going to do a quick look. Hello? Are there kebabs? There is a falafel corner and a falafel place. And, okay, there are kebabs around this place. That's all. Yes, it may be. Dun dun dun. Your last kebab. Oh, who voices the deranged Thai? That's a good idea. Yes, but isn't that kind of sloppy?
Maybe, but we don't really have much time or resources to spare. The guys at processing will take care of the rest.
Well, we found him. We should finish
All
this.
right. We should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station for Mike and Emma. Let them know we are taking the case.
I got it. So, by the way, we leveled up. Ba, ba, ba. I know that we should take more skills, but I'm not going to do that. I know that's what we should do, but we're going to instead look at this. This one has hell written on its back. It cannot be further from the truth. It's the boom years, and Curon, the nicest district in Rivershall West, is enjoying a sun-drenched day. Tall and handsome buildings rise from the riverside, steel, iron, and yellow limestone with cloud shadows sliding on the facades. Filthy jacket. We're going to have to give this back to the guy. But, folded library card. A library card found from a pocket of the dead man on the Martinez boardwalk. It's still slightly damp to the touch. The cover bears the stamp of Jamrock Public
The
Library.
library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53.
Not Dona, Hiro's closest thing, but should be Afghani or Iranian style kebabs, I'm willing to bet. Yeah, I bet we have some. And I was just like, ooh, that would be really good. Speaking of this, I really should do some cooking tonight.
Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased or his family member.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned.
Hey, y'all. By the way, thank you. Thank you, Rissa. I have a question for you. You know how on Twitter there are these, like, quizzes that show up every once in a while? There is this quiz for, like, can you name these everyday things from the 80s? And was like, a card catalog, a Viewmaster, Lightbright, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, there were like 60 of them, and I named like 57 out of 60. And I was thinking, I wonder if people who are Gen Z could name these things, because they did a pretty good job of not picking like super obvious things. I'd like to think that they could name them, but what if they couldn't? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's all. And I love that Mikey does the horrific necktie as well as bonus content when the Final Cut version of this game came out. And I love that crazy piece of fabric. I don't listen to what it says to me, but, I do still wear it.
Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
I wonder what this person looks like.
We should give them a call from Mikey and Emma. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
Yeah, I'll put this away. So, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling sad.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it?
Yeah.
Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
No, I'm going to think about
It
it.
occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it.
Gross.
Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck.
Yeah, I'm going to flick my hands.
Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
That's okay. What? You know what I mean? Life is short. Sometimes seagull poop, not the worst thing in the world. 'Cause it's thriller night. What is this? This is oh yeah, that's my badge.
Police badge on which you see the photo of a man.
I did see everything.
You. Some
Cool. So, by the way, here's the thing. I know that we need to up our skills. I do know this, but we're going to unlock another thought. I realize that we should do other things, but I need to know about, right? It's the apricot scented chewing gum one and the rigorous self-critique are both things I really want to know about. Because I feel like if I'm going to be sorry, then I should at least get something out of it. But you know what? We're going to go with the apricot chewing gum scented one because that's something about our past that I think is important. We're going to try to be a better person. Here we go. We've got one slot left, and that slot is going to go probably to rigorous self-critique. I mean, there's a lot of, we'll see. There are a lot of other things out here that could be really cool, but I know we need to up our skills. I do know this. I know it. I know it. And we will. The gum, the Jack Wild Memories. This coin operator viewer has been out of order. What was it? Ooh. Stop messing with the coin viewer and hold on to something. The wind is so strong. All right, we're gonna call in about this body. You know, you're right. I need to save the game. Wait. Moonshine probably smells like tasty fermentation. So we've been around the world, but I can't find my baby. I don't know why he's gone away, and I don't know where he can be, my baby, but I'm gonna find him. That's for those of you who know your Lisa Stansfield from the 80s. 1980s Blue-Eyed Soul. So we do need to go, but I like to set myself up for success. And what I'm going to do is move ourselves to the next place to go, which is down this walkway. And I feel like if we set ourselves up right here, I want to set ourselves up right. Okay, here we go. This right here is going to be where we leave off. because this seems like goodness. Let me save. Okay, so I left bottles back in that trash can, but Volpes, they said we should not collect those bottles because of, respect for the dead. You know what I mean? Respect for the dead. Oh, so, yeah. Whew. So Azure Harry talked politics as opinion. Oh, he's super communist. And he also thinks he's just like Maslov, which might mean that very last thought might have to go to Maslowian politics. I've done a bunch of those Maslowian ones, so we'll find out. But that's where I'm at. Let's see. What are we at? So here's what's what. Let me give you the Oh, book for Texas. That's what I have to do. Once I get off of here, I've got a book for Texas. So thank you for being here. That was really lovely. What am I going to do? What's next? So tomorrow you can find me at 7 p.m. Eastern on this channel for part 2 of going solo, Call of Cthulhu's Alone Against the Dark. So that's a tabletop RPG with just me by myself. And our last PC died, and we're going to be becoming the next PC as we try to make it to Greece, Athens, Greece, to solve these problems. I do know not how far we'll get along in this adventure, but find me there tomorrow at 7. Saturday at noon, I will be playing Rain World Eastern on my channel. Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern over at Praxagor of the Smophorius channel will be the series finale of Carousel Court. So you should come by and see that. That'll be really great. And then Monday, actually, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern over at Wandering DM's channel will be the Season 4 opener of Montreal by Night. We're back, and I'll be playing my Osebo vampire, Lucky, well, no longer Lucky, but Dixon, who is 3 humanity. And we're all going to go down deep into the underground to investigate some stuff. Two-pronged approach. And then I'll be back here again on Thursday. Now, I will say that I am planning to do an end-of-the-year recap session, and I don't know what day that will be. I always feel like I might do it on it depends on how much data crunching I get done. So look for that to happen. Hey, it might even happen this Saturday. We'll see, right? That's me. And just you, yourself, and your trail of dead characters. Yep. And we definitely will not die in Alone Against the Dark this time, maybe. All right, let me see. I'm going to go and get some food, book some stuff. I'm going to be watching Candela Obscura tonight at 10 p.m. If you want to hang out and chat with people not on their chat, which is so big, you can hang out in my Discord. We have a thread for it where we'll be talking about it. You can find me at Trooper SJP here and on YouTube. And if you would like, you can give it a like and subscribe to the channel and goodness. You can also find me at Trooper SJP on Blue Sky, Academic Foxhole on Twitter, Academic Foxhole on Patreon, which is to go and help pay for the cast for the RPGs that I run. And we have a merch store, which is also at, I think it's at Academic Foxhole. Those are the places you can find me, and I'm going to go. Thank you for being here. You all are very, very lovely. And I'm going to go and eat some food, book some travel, watch some Candela Obscura, and do number crunching. Take care, everybody. You are lovely. And I think I'm going to get a kebab. Yeah. All right, everybody. Good night. Y'all are lovely. I will see you all tomorrow. All right. Bye.